What's up, guys? We are behind on updates. We have so many to share with you, but as always, I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to get it to just the updates that are important to you, a producer in the mortgage industry. You are not going to want to miss this week's weekly breakdown coming up right now. All right, guys, it's Michael with Empower LO. Like I said, we've got a busy week of updates this week, but here's the thing. Just like always, we have narrowed this down to only the updates that are important to you in the mortgage industry. Now, that being said, what you'll notice on our board here, our handy dandy ClickUp board, that's, again, getting fed every single update from HighLevel that they push into their change log, which is accessible at ideas.gohighlevel.com. Every single update that HighLevel pushes gets added to this board right here, and then we look at it and say, okay, yes, is this relevant to the industry? Is this relevant but not relevant enough, which is what you see right here in this relevant don't cover. So what I want to highlight this week is we have 22 updates that were in relevant don't cover, as in they could be relevant to you in the mortgage industry, but we're not going to cover them in the weekly breakdown because we just do not have the time, and most of the people watching these videos do not have the attention span to go through every single one of those. So if you are somebody that wants to dive deeper into the updates, this is a week that I would recommend going to ideas.gohighlevel.com. Check out that change log. And by the way, while you're there, you can also see the development roadmap for HighLevel, which is really cool as well. So with that said, let's get started. The first update that I want to share with you is updates to the reporting functionality. Specifically, this is something that a lot of our clients, a few of our clients are going to be really excited about. Which is the ability to specify dates at the widget level and have it actually stick. So if you didn't know, custom reports came out in the last 3 to 6 months. But one of the limitations has been that even if you think you can define date ranges here at the widget level by going here, okay, date range override, the problem is every time you sent out the report, it would override that. And so that ended up making you limited in some of the ways that you could present the data that you wanted to present. This is a really welcome change. This is something that, again, a couple of our clients are going to be really excited about. This client right here is going to be able to adjust this report to make it a little bit more valuable for them by this. So in order to do that, just so you know, you're gonna go over to sender schedule, and then when you get to sender schedule, you're going to have this checkbox here that says use widget level date settings. So this did not exist before. This checkbox will now allow those widgets that you create to override the date range that you select right here. So you can select a date range right here, but at the end of the day, you can also override it right here, which is cool. This is an example of where this would benefit us. We actually wanted to be able to see today's appointments, but we couldn't. Just based on these limitations, that we couldn't select today when we came into this section right here. So yesterday is the most recent date that we can select for reporting. So now that I can use a widget level override, this means that I'm able to send out a report that shows you today's appointment. So really cool. Again, that's just one example of how our clients are going to benefit from that right away. Check out this reporting section if you haven't already. It works just like dashboards and is a really cool way to stay on top of your CRM. All right, speaking of updates and analytics, specifically, we're going to go over into website analytics for this next update. The additions here are essentially just a couple of these widgets in analytics. So if you have a website hosted inside of HighLevel, if you didn't know already, you have this analytics section that breaks down page views based on the funnels. Right now I'm on funnels. I can go to websites and I can break down per individual website. I can break down actual pages within the website. If I come in here, the new things that are now available to me that weren't there before is that now I can break down traffic by browsers. I can break down traffic by IP addresses, and I can also break down traffic by device type. So it's really bringing you more into alignment with what the standards are for analytic tools for websites. So if you were to use, say, something like Wordpress, so not groundbreaking stuff by any means, but if you are using funnels and websites, this is definitely something that you're going to want to check out. All right, speaking of updates to websites, this was not announced in the changelog, so I don't know if it's something that we're going to see soon or when they're going to announce it. But at the agency level, we were able to turn on a new feature called SEO, and what this essentially did is it created this tab inside of our sub accounts where you can come in and you can activate SEO, paying HighLevel directly $97 a month. This would be comparable to like an SEM Rush or a Screppy or a Yoast or something along those lines. So definitely check out this SEO tool. We haven't done it yet. Again, this just got activated in the last couple days. So let us know if you do give this a shot. We would love to hear your experience with it. All right, next up, a couple updates, just a couple improvements and bug fixes to the dialer. So these are things actually that I had a couple clients call out, which is not super common because this is a very new, like the dialer refresh just took place a few weeks ago. But there were a couple things that really stood out to a couple clients as being problematic, and these things have been fixed. So number one, when you go to dial out, right, within the dialer, let me go over here. When you go to dial out, it used to be that if you started typing right here, it would only allow you to type numbers, and then it would search for phone numbers based on that, but it wouldn't allow you to come in here in the content. Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't think it still is. Let me recheck this really quick. New dialer could not calling from now supports search by friendly name of the phone number. Oh, gotcha. My apologies. This is not what I thought it was. So what it is actually is being able to search your phone numbers when you're selecting who you're calling from. Search those phone numbers by the friendly name. So for example, if you had phone numbers assigned to 5 different people within your account, you could say search for John, and it will pull up John's number when you're dialing from. So I thought it actually had to do with the dialing out portion of it and finding phone numbers, contacts. What I was expecting to be able to do is type a name right here into this section instead of just typing numbers. I was expecting to be able to type a name right here, but that is still not possible to do. However, this is something that was called out, which is that before, if you had an assigned phone number, for some reason it wasn't defaulting in the new dialer to call from that number. So it was just going to call from whatever the main line, the default phone number for the account is. So this has been fixed. If you've noticed that in the last couple of weeks with the dialer, that has now been fixed, and it should default to whoever is logged in and the phone number that is assigned to them, which is going to be a welcome update for, like I said, a couple of our clients. So anyways, hopefully they add that feature, the ability to search by name right here. You can, if you click on contacts, you can just search over here by name. But it was something that one of our clients called out, that it would be nice if we could just start typing right here. So maybe that'll get added, but that is not what this update is about. Let us know if you have any other issues with the dialer. Obviously they're focusing on getting any bugs or little tweaks that they need to implement after that big dialer refresh. So let us know if you're seeing any other issues with the dialer. We'll relay those to HighLevel. All right, next up is an update to a feature that I've talked about a couple times over the last few months, but they just keep improving it. And that update, that feature that I'm talking about, is the ability to resend emails to people who have not yet opened an email campaign that you sent. And so I want to demonstrate this. What is now possible is that you can preset this up when you send the email in the first place. So before, you'd have to go back to the campaign and manually resend it to the people who haven't opened it. Now you can actually set this up when you send the email itself. So there's this new option down at the bottom called resend email to unopened. You can do this. You can schedule it to go out a day out, a date, 1 day, 12 hours, whatever that time window is that you want to do. I believe 12 hours is the minimum based on, it says that right here. But you may be able to, depending on how. Let me see. What is this? If I go 6 hours. Nope. Okay, cool. So they stop it right there. So 12 hours is going to be the minimum that you can wait before resending to unopened. Probably a best practice anyways. You can actually alter your subject line here as well. So again, whereas you could do this manually before, you now can do this automatically when you set up your original campaign, which is really cool. All right, back to analytics for a second, but with email specifically, you now have a ranking of your top performing emails that is based on whatever date range that you have in the email marketing statistics section. So if you didn't know, you can go into email marketing, go to campaigns or templates, doesn't matter. It's just not statistics that are in the drop down for whatever reason. Once you get there, you can hit statistics, and you can set up this date range right here, and that's going to allow you to see the number of emails that you sent, also your open rate for that period of time, your top performing emails. Again, this is really cool right here, the ability to see your top performing emails, so that you can then go back and say, okay, what is it that I did in this email? Is it something that I wrote about? Is it my subject lines? Whatever it is, and now recreate that success. So definitely check this out, guys. Do not sleep on HighLevel's email marketing features. Get that, make sure you're managing that email deliverability well, and leverage the crap out of the email marketing features inside of HighLevel, specifically the statistics, to help dial in that strategy. All right, next up, moving on to opportunities. What we now have in opportunities, we have had the ability to update what our opportunity cards look like for a while now. I've shown this, I don't remember when I showed it, but in the last 6 months. If you didn't know, you can come over here. By the way, if you didn't know, you can also alter your view from card view to list view. There definitely is a lot to be desired with this functionality here. It's something they started a while ago. I'm hoping they pick it back up, because I know some people do prefer this stage view, or I'm sorry, this list view right here. But I digress. The cards, when it comes to the opportunity cards, you can change what shows up on the opportunity cards. So the default has like the lost reason and the business name, which most people don't end up actually having a business name. And so you can only pick 7. I would deselect a couple of the ones that are on there, and then you can come in here. Now the new ones that we didn't have before is that you now have these calculations of the number of days pertaining to some of the dates that you can add to these cards. So if you notice, I have updated on and last stage change date on right here on the opportunity card, and so I check those boxes. They also have these counters that will count the number of days since that took place. If you go down to primary contact details, you can also do this pertaining to tasks and appointments. So this is going to be a really cool way to help keep your salespeople, help keep yourself accountable to making sure that you're staying up to date with your pipeline, making sure that you are not letting people get stale within your pipeline. So check this out. I would adjust this. Now, one thing that I've noticed when you go and you save this, like let's say I were to change this right here, and I'm going to add days since last updated. If we click apply, now if you uncheck this all pipelines box, from my experience so far, it won't save even this pipeline. Like you'll come back to this pipeline later and you won't see your saved view. This may have been changed and updated in the last couple days, but it's just something I've noticed over the last couple weeks. So if you're seeing that happen and you're okay with saving this same view for all pipelines, try giving that checkbox a check, whatever. Click confirm, save it, and then see if that works. If it doesn't, let us know. Let's get this bubbled up on HighLevel's radar again. I've had a couple clients that have said that these pipelines are not saving for them, and so we want to make sure that that is taking place. So again, not that the pipelines aren't saving, but that these custom views of the pipelines aren't saving. So anyways, give that a shot. Customize your pipeline view and give yourself some accountability by showing the dates and the number of days since last important activities took place. All right, next up is an update that I am nerding out on. I am so excited about. Guys, this is not something that most of you should get sucked into. I'm just going to let you know now, but it's so powerful and so cool. I just have to share it with somebody, and you guys are that somebody. So with that said, now that if you didn't know, there's a custom code action inside of here where you can create JavaScript and do stuff that is not ordinarily available to you through like the standard actions inside of HighLevel. This essentially allows you to unlock insane, like unlimited possibilities for what you can do with this platform. It's something that Zapier supports. It's something that other automation tools supports. Really cool that this is built into HighLevel. Even cooler that they now have this build with AI button that allows you to come in here and give it a prompt and have it spit out code for you. So I was just trying to think of a really simple example that I could give you guys. One of the things that I thought of was, hey, let's do like a round robin with weighted or with number randomization. So I could do this, and I could say, all right, pick a number between 1 and 10, okay, or 1 and 100 at random, okay, and output that number. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and generate that. use code. All right. It's going to require me to test the code, but I don't have any inputs. So let me exit out of those. Let me test my code. What does it do? Boom, spit out that number, right? So cool. Now I have this. And why would I use this? Well, then I could do something like if else. I can say agent 1, right? Let's say I'm round robining leads off to an agent that I do business with. So I can come in here. I can now go back to that custom code, output result, and I can say is less than 40 or 41. Okay, so numbers 1 through 40 go through agent 1, and then the next one I could say agent 2. I like this agent more, and so they're going to get 41 through 60. So now I can come back here and I can say boom, custom code. Now, mind you, there are simpler ways to set up this round robin. I'm just showing you an example of what this custom code function can do. So now I can say, all right, is greater than or equal to 42. Okay. And that makes it so this is 41 through 100. So what did I just do? I just set up a round robin, a random round robin, not a round robin, but like a random split of leads between two agents, where one will get 60% of those leads and one will get 40% of those leads, statistically speaking. Okay, so this is an example of something that you could do. Again, just a really simple one there, but there's so much more powerful things you can do in here. If you nerd out on this stuff like I do, be careful. Obviously, make sure that you're spending your time with revenue generating activities and not just playing programmer if you're not a programmer. I need to heed that advice sometimes as well. But for these like edge cases where you need the system to do something that it's just quite not capable of doing, this is really, really cool. All right, next up, speaking of really, really cool, another update that I'm really excited and geeking out on, which is the ability to create audiences within the ad manager, create audiences for your ads account using smart lists. Guys, this is insane. If you didn't know, if you don't know, if you've never ran Facebook ads, this is not going to be super relevant to you. It still might, even if you've never ran Facebook ads before, because now you can create lists of your contacts using smart lists, and then you can come in here and you can create custom audiences for Facebook ads based on those lists. Now, obviously, how many people from your list are actually going to be able to be matched by Facebook is going to be dependent on how much data you have and Facebook can collect and aggregate. But this is really cool to be able to come in. Obviously, you can upload a file. You've always been able to do this, but this is the powerful thing, is being able to come in here. Now, one thing that I'll throw in here, I panicked when I only saw 2 smart lists in here when I first came in. But what I've noticed that for some reason, and let me go ahead and do this. If we go over to contacts, I have a lot of smart lists in here. Now, most of these smart lists are global smart lists. For whatever reason, global smart lists are not selectable from that drop down. So if you have that issue, come in here and you can just duplicate the smart list by clicking save as new. And then you can say, Empower Low current clients for Facebook audience or whatever. So if I do that, now I can go over into marketing, go to the ad manager, go to settings, audiences. I can create a new audience, a lookalike audience. What is this? Data source. I'm going to pick, oops, my bad. I'm not creating a lookalike audience. I'm creating a new custom audience. And then I'm grabbing that customer list, grab my smart list, and now I can grab one of these, right? And so I have current clients, or whichever one I want to do there. I can put both of these on here. Audience name, it's called current clients. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. And I can create that audience just like that. I gotta agree to these terms. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Again, really cool. We're really excited about this. I'm not even using the ad manager to manage our ads, but I will use this feature in the ad manager so that inside of the Facebook ads manager, I can use these audiences that I created. So definitely, if you're running any sort of Facebook ads, you need to be doing this. And if you're not running Facebook ads, this is one reason to potentially look closer at it. All right, this is getting long. I promised you guys that I was going to keep it short, and here I am failing at that. But again, as you saw earlier, we had a lot of updates to go through. So let me power through these next couple ones. All right, first up, enhanced SMS compliance with sender ID and opt-out updates. This is a really fancy way of saying HighLevel is making that is restricting you more, sending out text messages specifically for new accounts. So do not be surprised, no matter what HighLevel agency you're using, if you come on as a new client and you have to send out at the end of every text message, you have to send out something that says, hey, you know, an opt-out message, basically reply stop to unsubscribe. This is something that used to be able to be taken out if you are not using HighLevel's phone service lead connector. Then you still have more customization of this, but even that might go away at some point. Again, this is a really fancy way of saying that they're making things mandatory that used to not be mandatory. And so again, not going to go too deep into this, but if you're seeing that you're having to send out more opt-out language and more, you know, the sign off that says your name at the end of it and stuff like that, and you cannot get rid of those, that's because you are now subject to these new requirements. You got to get out of your warm-up period, which is the subject of a whole other video altogether. Just know this is getting more restrictive, and it's not just the agency you're working with, it is all across HighLevel agencies. All right, another update for you guys, specifically pertaining to WordPress management. Guys, a couple months ago, I was on a webinar that showed just how high performing WordPress hosting was for HighLevel. It's really impressive, to be honest with you, especially compared to some of the most popular WordPress hosting services. So those of you guys that are technical, those of you guys that have your own WordPress instance, you might want to consider looking at moving that over to HighLevel at this point. The performance is really good. Now you have automatic WordPress updates management, which is usually a premium feature of WordPress hosting services. So again, I don't have any personal experience with this because we got off of WordPress. I don't like WordPress. I would rather deal with the quirks of HighLevel's page builder than to deal with WordPress. However, I know a lot of you guys are still using WordPress, and if you are, you may want to consider moving your hosting over to HighLevel. All right, guys, that is it for this week's weekly breakdown. Like I said, it was a doozy. It was a long one. If you didn't know, we have a Facebook group where if you have any questions on anything that you guys encountered on this weekly breakdown, or any questions about HighLevel at all, this Facebook group is a great resource for you to learn more about HighLevel and connect with other loan officers that are using HighLevel as well. We've got about 1,300 members in there right now. They are all mortgage professionals using HighLevel. So definitely check that out. We'll put the link in the description below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you at the top.